Alright, today we're going to be mounting and configuring the BTT Eddy. Alright, so for mounting the Eddy here, we want to make sure that it is 2 millimeters from the bed. Like, no matter what. 2 millimeters between 2 and 3. Like, don't get it any closer or any further. It's not going to work for you. So, the other thing I want you to notice is that we have it facing the little lip towards the nozzle. So that is the front, and we're going to have that facing towards, and then we're going to get ourselves one of these micro SD adapters, which are just under 2 millimeter, and then we're going to bring the probe down to 0. So just touching. So you're probably going to have to do this manually. I've already set up the Eddy before, so mine is going to be a little bit better to do since I can home and bring everything down to 0. So we have it really close. So I'm going to tie it in now. So I designed this mounting. So if you're running a Voron or an Ender or anything like that, they're going to have mounting brackets for you with the CAD files. And I will make sure to link that down below. So just tighten her up. That should be good there. I'm going to bring this back up to 10. Because if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget and I'm going to drag it across the bed. Alright, so we are on to the firmware. So you're definitely going to want to come to Eddy's GitHub, because everything here is laid out very, very well. And we're going to be referencing this throughout this tutorial. Like, it is a good resource. So first of all, we are going to want to go to our Pi. So I'm just going to restart this session just so that we can start from the beginning. So you're going to log in with your login and password. May or may not be different to mine. So once you get here, see, we're going to double check that we're using Python 3 and not Python 2. If we're using Python 2, we're going to have to update everything. So we're going to go back to PuTTY. We're going to use KIAUH. I'll link that. Super easy to install. So now that we're into the installation and update helper, we're going to check Clipper. So it's installed and we're using Pi 3. So that means we don't need to update anything. All right. So now we're going to go down and we're going to start making sure that we're using the mainline clipper. So this is the main branch. So let's Q and quit out of that. We're going to CD into our clipper and check out the master. So we are already on master. My branch is behind. I haven't updated it in a little bit. But we're already on the master branch. So we're good there. We're going to go back to the GitHub. And we're going to copy this one. So this is going to bring us into our firmware compiler. Let's go back to PuTTY. Paste that in. And I'll bring up the menu. So now, you're going to make sure you're using Raspberry Pi RP2040. No bootloader. The flash chip should be W25Q080. We're using USB serial. And that's it. So now we quit out with Q. And then we're going to type make to compile this. So mine's already compiled properly. Yours will have a long script here. Make sure you watch it. You might have to click yes or no. So now we're going to have to go back to the printer because we have to disconnect the power to the Eddy and push and hold on the boot chip or button that's on the Eddy. So if you look on this diagram, this is where the cable plugs in. Right in front of it is the boot button. It's a little gray button, and you might need tweezers to press it. So let's go back to the printer and we'll check it out. Alright, now that we're back at the printer, we're going to remove this plug carefully as not to ruin it. Do not pull from the cables. That's how you pull them out. Alright, so Eddy has been disconnected. Now we're going to press the boot button. So connector, white, gray. Gray is the button. Hold the button and carefully reconnect. Now it's a little bit fiddly, so just take your time and make sure you're pressing the boot button when you plug it back in. Alright, there we go. Then you can remove, and we're going to go back to the computer. Okay, so we are back on the computer. We're going to make a new session. We're going to log in. We're going to log in. Make sure we're in the root directory. We're going to type lsusb. And we're going to see that we have a Raspberry Pi RP2 boot. Now you're going to need that number, 2E8A, can't remember what that's called, 0003. Okay? So now we're going to go CD, tilde key. We want the tilde. / clipper, enter. Now we're going to type make flash underscore device equals, and remember we want the 2E8A, the two dots, I can't remember the name, 0003. And then we hit enter. It's going to flash it. Okay? And then it's going to reboot the device. And now we type ls space /dev /serial /by -id / and the star. And we hit enter. And now you're going to see these blue ones. So this one is what goes into your MCU for the Eddy. I'll show you that right now. We'll log into the web interface. Alrighty. So once we've typed in the ls dev and gotten our MCU, so you're gonna select all of that and hold and right click, and that's going to copy it. For some reason, that's what copies things. We're going to want to clear that, and we're going to want to do sudo reboot. That's going to kill that. So while that's rebooting, we're going to have a take a look at the printer configuration. So this is where things get a little bit confusing, maybe. So we flashed it, and we're going to need to pick our configuration settings for Eddy. So here it's going to tell you if you want to use Eddy as a probe, but use another device as the Z end stop. So let's say you're going to use Eddy as the probe to scan the bed, but you're going to use a end stop switch as your Z end stop. You're going to want to use this one. What I think is probably most common is using it as a probe and the Z end stop, which is like how you would use your BL Touch. So we're gonna go down this route. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to copy, or you can select all of it, but copy raw file. And now we're gonna go back to your main sail. We're gonna go to your printer configuration, and above your steppers, which is your actual printer configuration, you're going to want to paste all the Eddy stuff. So I have my includes up here, which is main cell, my time-lapse plugin, and exclude object. A little bit of housekeeping, and then the Eddy config. So this whole section is the Eddy config, and this is the important part that we're going to be focusing on mostly. So we got our Z tilt. If you have Z tilt adjust, I won't be covering that. And there should be a bed mesh here somewhere. Z safe foam, and here's your bed mesh. Okay, cool. So we're going to start off with normal stuff. We've pasted in our Eddy configuration. We're going to ignore it for 2 seconds, even though I said we're going to be focusing mostly on that. We're going to go down to our Z stepper. And if before you were using a end stop switch, you're going to have one that looks like this. So you're going to comment that out, or just change it completely to probe, and then the 2 dots again, Z virtual end stop. So main thing here is making sure that you have it as the virtual end stop, or you're going to crash into your bed. Sometimes you'll see the position end stop. Just comment it out or get rid of it. We don't need it. So now we get to a part where we need to configure our bed mesh. So I built this printer, so it's a little bit different. So these aren't going to be the same as yours. You're going to want to go through these to make sure you have your position min and position max set properly. I slowed down the speed of the bed mesh because I'm still ironing out things with this printer. So this is a very important part. I had this set to positive 35 and everything was going wrong. So I'm going to show you how to set this properly. It's pretty easy. Nothing to really worry about. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to our web interface, home all our axes. You can see I have a green piece of tape there. with a dot. We're going to want to place the part of the probe. I'm going to have to show you. It's a little weird. All right, here we go. So we want to place the center point of the coil above that dot. Yeah. So 7 millimeters from the front. So what we're going to do is we're going to go minus. I'm going to have to go quite a bit. Now I'm going to have to go back to the other camera to show you this a little better. Alright, so as you can see, we're almost there. I'm just going to be bringing the Y a little bit over. And then let's bring the bed up. I'm just eyeballing it. Okay. So now the probe is above that dot. All right, 8-1, 115. So remember that, because now we're going to move the probe to that. So I'm going to have to go minus 10, minus 10, minus 10, 1, 2, 3. And then it was, oops. Okay. Back to the work. We're going to want to write down those positions again. So your X is 99 now, and Y is 84. I got to remember the... Okay. So the second number that we just got, we're going to call N. Let me, I'll bring up this. So we're going to go N minus, and the first ones are going to be E. So this is E, and this is N. So this is your eddy, and these are going to be the first ones that we did. So X is 81, and Y is 115. Let's bring this a little bigger. And then for N, which are the new values, your X, or my X is 99, and my Y is 84. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go N minus E. And that's for X. And then we're going to do the same thing for Y. So we're going to go 99 minus 81. Make it easy on both of us. 99 minus 81. It's 18. Write that down. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And then we're going to go 84 minus 115. So it's okay. It's good that it's wrong, or it's negative. Don't get upset. All right, now we're going to go back to printer config. And we're going to go set this. Under probe Eddy, X and Y. So I reversed mine. That's why these are different. 18 and -31. So boom. Save. Restart. Thank you for watching. That concludes part 1. We will be continuing off pretty quick in the next couple days with part 2. Like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them below.